section is called prayer. Beginning your reading and meditation with a prayer will help you set the energy of your session and connect with the source of your energy. It will serve as a further key to let your spirit know that it is time to access your prayer language. It will also serve as a protection. Any prayer that you like, anytime you like writing anything, before like a prayer, you don't necessarily gotta pray up to a higher power. Remember that you are God. Remember that you are this higher power. You are this source. You are this God or goddess that you're really praying up to. That anybody's praying up to you. So what you, in my opinion, you should strategically place the words or weaponize the language pattern within the word. Write something out, write a spell out for yourself, a prayer in a prayer form. You can look at any prayer as like a, a foundational format for how you want to lay your own out. Make it be your own words and imbue those words with intent. When you read them, you're actually believing them. You're absolutely going to believe them. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it's also good to have like certain frequencies playing to really get your brain waves to be attuned to that power of belief. When God speaks to them, when God speaks to them into existence. You know what I'm saying? So theta waves, 4 hertz to 7 hertz. You know what I'm saying? This binaural affirmation while you're doing this will help speed up the process. It'll just increase everything that you're doing. What up, man? I'm maybe he's up and at it. But that's how I get my vocal down up. First time I spoke in there, so I don't see what. I ain't on that raw shit right now. Like I said, I gotta get my own coffee and shit. The energy of gratitude is one of the highest forms of energy that exists. Within gratitude, there is joy, acceptance, love, and forgiveness. When you pray by expressing your gratitude, either for what has already occurred or for what you hope to manifest, you are bringing these healing energy to your reading space as well as your life. Structured prayers such as the Lord's Prayer are beneficial to recite dealing with negative energy because they are highly energized and the masses of people who are reciting them throughout history. Now pay attention to that last part. They talk about the Lord's Prayer. So it's beneficial to recite when dealing with negative energy because they are highly energized and the masses of people who are reciting them throughout history. Now you might not even believe in like the Lord's prayers and shit, but the power of belief that a portion of humanity has in moments of like going through negative shit, trials and tribulation, the power of belief that's imbued within the Lord's prayer is why it's so effective and why it works. So what I'm telling you is, if you are God or God, you need to sometimes take away your biases on things, take away your biases on certain philosophical or religious prayers, religious thinking, and actually utilize that, whatever that thought form is, to your benefit. You see what I'm saying? Like Lord's Prayer is one of the most powerful last prayers there is. And you go like, what the fuck we praying for? What, Jesus? It's not even about that. It's about what the power of belief that people imbue inside that damn prayer and why it works. So you can take, if you know anything about source, you can take that and redirect that to yourself. You be the Lord, and they praying up to you. Not everybody viewing themselves with a resource that's coming from you, but you also piggybacking on the power of belief that the universe is believing in the Lord's Prayer, which is you. There's an endless feedback loop for your alchemical transformation right there, if you know how to apply the science. You know what I'm saying? And you just make that shit up in the moment. It's not something you're going to try to read no fucking book nowhere. But you can do this. You can apply this anytime you want to based on how you really, you know what I'm saying, go about weaponizing your everyday, based on being creative, based on being in the moment, and knowing how to utilize energy when it's presented to you. See what I'm saying? So that's just one way you can do this. But there's many other ways. But just always try to be in the mindset of being open to expressing new ways of your godliness, your godhood, so to speak. Never be closed up. Now, I'm going to show y'all this shit real quick. Now, y'all know I've been running this damn. Now, anywhere I put shit down is my altar, no matter what, any 2-dimensional surface, I can put it to the altar. You walk on, this damn ping pong table, I got my shit set up on, whatever. Now, I still got the document, I have the shit going on with me on it, you know what I'm saying, still gonna be on myself with all these different attributes. Now, 963 hertz, which I'm going right now, I'm more of a, I ain't gonna say like right as of the moment right now, it's like it's not the main dominant frequency that I'm listening to. It's like it will dial off a little bit in the background, but it's feel like I'm still connected with everything you see. I'm still connected with you. I'm still connected with like with everything. But more so, my regular default self is at the forefront, and I'm being able to speak. I'm not going to be speaking necessarily the loftiness of that frequency until God will roll it play in my mind or whatever, the mindset, the vantage point, so to speak. So I'm more of a grassroots level, some regular shit, but at the same time, still God. You know what I mean? So I'm just able to get to some everyday shit real quick for frequency check. Like it will. It's like a cascade effect. It's like a waterfall. And I see that water like rushing to that edge, and I know once it start to come down, and this shit might just take me up. Peace. So I'm gonna explain further. So this will be Professor X. You already know his power that he has as far as cerebro. But I'm able to take what he does with cerebro. That's the brain where we use that to get inside the heart, the hinders of the heart. So just like you see him in the movie, and he's tapping into everybody's mind with all the mutants and all the humans on the planet. I can tap into everybody's heart and know what's there, and know the intention behind it. You know what I'm saying? That's one way I'm able to really, know how to navigate these situations, knowing certain people thinking of me, knowing certain people are, drawing my inspiration, and it's all good. It's all good. Really, I really appreciate everybody really, contacting me, really know who I am outside of this, what I am, not what I appear to be, and able to, show me love, and I show them love back. So this is like I said, you get the document I have. Anytime you see me like with him, like just like with his hand out, so this is basically me giving myself with my own power. So this is all I really I got again, I got five from my brother, you know what I'm saying? Like I told you before, I already explained a lot of this shit together. Now this is y'all what y'all need to know, and everything. Like Muhammad Ali wanted to come up there. That's what he wanted to be. He wanted to be next to right. They real cool up there. So that's just how I work. I don't understand necessarily their relationship, but you be shocked that we need to know something about right. We all know that. Well, what I found out is like death, how you really need to understand this shit. It's not the same for everybody. It's not the same experience for everybody. Nah, as a sorcerer, as somebody who deals with like black magic and shit like that, crystal magic, all the things I'm gonna do, I can tell you that you can bypass that. You don't necessarily have to accept it for what it's how it's been presented to the vast majority of humanity. I'll say this. You know how Loki is in Marvel Comics? How he can like cheat that, kind of like navigate around it, so to speak. You know what I mean? That's necessarily just always just die. You might go back into a moment in time, into a parallel reality when he was a woman, or you might go back in time in a parallel reality when he was a child, and still exist, still keep all his experiences of being Loki, the one you've been seeing like in Marvel Comics. But like have that consciousness of you in a woman, or have that consciousness of you in a child. Still keep that all that history of being a man, but now you're in a parallel reality. You cheated death, now you exist in a parallel world inside a little boy. So what that means is that if you know anything, if you know what you're doing, and you really with the shit when it comes to like whatever you're playing, black magic, sorcery, witchcraft. But yet you able to, you just gotta know things. You gotta know you're God. You gotta know that you're God. You gotta know the all power that's in you. You don't know higher power has the ability of meaning that your mind makes you do it, meaning that you know how to navigate your spirit. And you must know that you are multi-dimensional being. You have experience already dealing with real reality with yourself and other realities, other levels of your multi-dimensional essence as a God or not. You already have to have experience in doing it already before you pass over. So if you die, you're just going to a damn daydream that you have while taking the shit. While you taking the goddamn shit in another goddamn reality that you in, while having a daydream about you this motherfucker on this planet that you fucking passed away since you got there. only entity that ever appeared to me externally. Every other entity that appeared to me, like, it was already naturally our connection. It would be a little different. Okay. You over there. I'm over here. What the fuck? Our guys. Okay. Alright. So then we go through our thing and we merged. I mean, that's what the energy that's always been working for me and shit like that. But I still have it. All its power says all the things you can do. But it's filtered not through my heart, it's purified through my heart. So I don't necessarily gotta be on that. I don't gotta be on that chaos. But I don't gotta be on that shit. It's all filtered through my heart. It's all purified by my spirit, so to speak. So that's my information. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they went on all that intention, all that I just wanted to let you know that you can do that yourself with your spirit. Just know how to navigate. You are a mystery. You are a vast ocean of just unlimited potential and actualization. So you really have the courage to know within yourself to really be able to see out the legacy wisdom that exists within you that you want to exist in mind so far that you are the darkness, the white darkness, so to speak. Just you. Understand that yourself. Just know that you can do that. Now, this is something now, it don't matter if I'm in like an edible or if I'm listening to certain frequencies that's really getting my brain. Like, I use certain frequencies to focus on the front of my brain. I gotta say this is all over the next. This is long, so this is just one next. If you're not living from the heart, if you're not, anything that you're doing, if it isn't coming from the spirit, if it isn't coming from the highest potential that you are, whatever it is that you put your energy in, it's not gonna be shit. It's gonna turn to shit. It's not gonna work. It's gonna crumble. It's not gonna be anything. It's not gonna be going for it. I don't give a fuck who you are, how much money you get. It ain't gonna work if it's not the spirit that's putting up that energy. Your true self is not gonna be whatever activity that you're in. If you're looking for a relationship, if you're looking for a man, and you just on some lustful shit, you just want your back to do all about this nigga, you're not really doing help. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing like I said, I'll get an edible, right? And understand something. When I'm off of an edible or something, anything that I'm doing under like beta waves, I absolutely believe it. The meaning is real to me. You understand what I'm saying? So I was sitting in front. My mind used to be hooked up in I got QWERTY, OSCE, I got everything. I would be under auto suggestions. I would be under my own hypnosis, my own mind control, my own subconscious changes. Right? And my whole purpose of getting in front of this computer, start typing, is to see the computer turn on, see all the sensors, everything you see on the laptop, on the PC. And I use this to hack what you know and understand, like sensory awareness. Hack it. I see shit like in the Matrix. Zeros and ones, shit like that. And whatever it is, whatever code, whatever I want to happen, I'm gonna put the binary code, computer code shit up in there. And that return, enter, and all that shit, make it happen. Using my mouse. Look at the mouse. Sits top, but like you can look at this one, you gotta stand. It's like the earth, it's like the ground, it's the foundation of the ground, like dive in earth, so to speak, right? Put my mouse over there, I'm moving it, diving, I'm moving my shit, clicking on certain portions of the thing, certain lay line. I'll be sitting in front of this motherfucker. In the dark. All the lights out. And I do that shit for hours. Under certain affirmations I'm listening to, but especially on the theta wave, which 4 hertz and 7 hertz. I told you the theta waves are awesome. Absolutely critical when it comes to artists. When it comes to yourself with despair, affirmations, things like that. That I strategically write out for myself. So I'm typing this shit, I'm doing this. I absolutely see it, absolutely believe it. Brain physiological structure, neurons in my brain is firing off and be doing it. It's happening. And then I wake up and then some shit happens. So that works. This is like I said, this isn't another way for me to create it, another way for me to take something that somebody look at and start and make that shit so much more profound because I do it with my magic. I do anything with my magic that's something I change. You know what I'm saying? But that led me to do different things. That led me to start really like tapping into different frequency bands. You know what I'm saying? Tapping into different different frequency bands. In different frequency bands there exist different entities. That's beyond human constitution. So channeling. Started this. I didn't have an intention of this doing that. I was just doing experimentation with neuroplasticity, brain entrainment, brain synchronization, right? And I'm going up on these frequencies and I'm listening to them like 963 and I'm combining shit. But you get to a point, you get to a sweet spot where listening to these frequency bands and you just being absolutely still, you just being still. Now, mind you, they're not played at the maximum volume, like 960 hertz, like 100% volume, very unpleasant sound. So it's played like 2-3% volume, but it's still there, it's still playing a role in the neuron, it's still feeling it. It's still, the brain waves are still being coalesced by that frequency band. So I'm listening to them and relax. And all these different frequencies, I play like maybe 13 simultaneous frequencies at the top of all this other shit. And I'm sitting there relaxed, and then you just get to a point where something opens up. It's like another motherfucking, it ain't even another universe, a whole nother motherfucking, man, I don't even know what to tell you. It's like another, it ain't you just like more than a universe, another fucking whole nother set of multiverse open up, you know. And it's like, you almost see it. It's like you meditating and shit. You got your eyes closed, you really like slowing down your thoughts. And then it didn't happen. It like unfolds in front of you. So I equate this to moving my assembly thing. And then like expanding it out. And then it's like a whole, it's like something moves. The only way I can describe this shit is like You seen 13 Ghosts? That big ass, like, whatever structure that shit was, and they're like moving, and they got all that shit like spiraling around it. It's some shit like that, and I know that's my assembly point, but it's another fucking, like, another one. Like, the assembly point is just right up outside my body here, but it's something fucking else. It's something else. I didn't know this existed, but it opened up. The next thing you know, like, I'm still meditating, but my mind, I'm not thinking. I'm just trying to observe, just being silent, observing what the fuck I'm experiencing. I'm like, okay, I'm just letting these frequencies just take me where they need to take me, and it's taking me to another motherfucking, like, realm. And I'm just sitting there, just observing, without being anxious, without going through any type of thing, and just watching it unfold. And what happens is it's a whole another area where where you would consider like extraterrestrials, whatever, all of them. They are on different frequencies. They're on different channels. And if you are tuned to the frequency, if you can resonate with that wavelength enough for an amount of time, you're gonna come in contact with them. And these entities that I would end up coming in contact with, I'm gonna name some of their names. You may have heard of it. KIL, Kill, GINVO, Jinvo, Merker, Salak, SALAAK, Nabu, NABU, Orela, ORELA. And I just started writing down certain, Igarat. There's a whole bunch of different, I just named some. Y'all like, who the fuck are these people? If you were to Google these motherfuckers, you're gonna see some shit. Like, honestly, Google Merker. EMERTHER, and put in like alien or something down and see what come up. And then I wrote down all these geometrical codes and shit. Like, look, this shit all wrote down. Like this shit. You see that figure 8? All these different shapes. REBAN, we done. And then what I did was I put all these symbols on them. I drew them out on them, and then I just took a shower with them. I just imbued myself with whatever geometrical shape these represent, and imbued myself with them. And then I was able to have contact with them. I'm not gonna show you the shit we talked about. It's personal. It's up to me to really, it's my own shit. But what I'm telling you is, if you want to contact, now understand something. I'm gonna emphasize this shit. Now that outer space shit is not out there. All inner space, and I go within myself, inner space. So it's small. I go inside of myself, and I go small, go like subatomic. So if you really need to know and understand what I mean, but I mean on some Kalindi type of shit, where he talks about really the subatomic particles and the Planck level and beyond the Planck level, so all that shit. When you get down there, it's the only thing that there's to do. The only way you survive at that level is you have to be a sorcerer. It's sorcery and it's magic. All that fucking, there's no, you understand what I'm saying? There ain't no, it's not like this. It's not as, you won't survive if you're not a sorcerer. You will not fucking survive. You won't even have access to this fucking experience if you're not a guy or God is already. And have working experience with demons. This is some other shit. This is some intelligence. This is something totally alien to prior your everyday comprehension. On this deep shit you think you on, all this black magic shit, this is way past that. This is some other shit that's older and it's way more ancient. And it's all, the smaller you go, the more powerful your sorcery gotta be. It gotta be really strong. And I went way far from this shit. And I'm saying that because I'm a powerful motherfucker. I know what I am. I know what I represent. I know I'm a Christ. I know what power that's beside him. I know what's in my DNA. And it's up to me to really actualize that shit. Now, one of the other things, that's some deep ass shit that I don't know if y'all even know what's going on when it comes to the origin of time and conscious agents. Have y'all ever heard of this concept? Be honest. Have y'all ever heard of Donald Hoffman? I'm like, who the fuck is this? I ain't no nigga I heard of it. Brother Hemingway never said it, man. Brother Flanagan never said it, man. Well, there's other information that's out here that's really relevant to your situation every day, especially when it comes to you realizing what this is. And this is a paper called The Origin of Time and Conscious Aging by Donald D. Hoffman, Department of Cognitive Sciences, University of California, Irvine. This is in 2014. Now, Donald Hoffman really pioneered the thought of this shit being like a video game. This shit being like that shit I was just explaining to y'all about the computer. I'm about to read this shit, man. That shit I did with that goddamn computer, you're gonna go back to it. It's gonna kind of probably be a little eerie about really what I did, what I'm capable of doing after I read this shit to you. Y'all hear that noise? That, like, I don't know what the fuck that is. That first Friday of the month type of shit. Studies of the evolution of perception using evolutionary games and genetic algorithms reveal that natural selection routinely drives political perceptions, i.e. perceptions that resemble the truth, to quick extinction when they compete against perceptions that are non-veridical and tuned to fitness. This motivates an interface theory of perception, which proposes that our perceptions are not windows on truth, but are more like the Windows interface of a PC. Say that again. This motivates an interface theory of perception, which proposes that our perceptions are not windows on truth, meaning that what we're looking at not windows on the truth, but are more like windows of a PC. Like we've seen something. That's what the fuck I'm trying to explain. You are in your fucking video, man. This is a video game. When you looking out and shit, you like looking at a goddamn screen on the PC. Then you tap into something, you go pick up something, it's like you hitting an app. Like, look, where's the app on fucking Muhammad Ali app? I pick them up and shit, and I got access to all the information that Muhammad Ali represents to humanity and shit. I'm able to see, you know what I'm saying, everything that he was about, all his fights, all his skills that he was imbued with, all the fucking trials and tribulations he had, went through, and I, you know what I'm saying, closed the app, put that, you know what I'm saying, go to another app, Dr. Manhattan app. Do the same thing with it. And then do the same thing with yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror. Now I'm gonna explain this shit further. In my opinion, this is some revolutionary type of science when it comes to perception. And anybody that knows anything about sorcery, perception is key. The icons on the desktop of a PC allow us to use a computer without being distracted by the irrelevant details about its internal structure and operation. Similarly, our perceptions allow us to act adaptively in the world while being ignorant of its true structure. Space-time is our species-specific desktop. Physical objects are icons on that desktop. Space-time and physical objects are not insights into objective reality, but species-specific adaptations that allow us to survive and to reproduce. This requires a radical reformulation of our notion of the nature of objective reality and our notion of time. In light of the evolutionary results, I propose that consciousness, rather than space-time and physical objects, is fundamental. I propose a formal model of consciousness based on a mathematical structure called conscious aging. I then propose how time and space merge with the interactions of conscious aging. Now he went in on this shit. Now he just, a lot of motherfuckers don't like him based on how he just broke all this shit down and kind of just unraveled some shit within the academia and shit. I think that's more of this shit. But y'all need to look that shit up. Conscious Aging by Donald Hoffman. I'm not about to keep reading that. Honestly. I want to. You know what I'm saying? But another thing that I want to really emphasize is like reading to yourself. Honestly, I don't give a fuck what it is. Do you like to read out loud to yourself? To really like you know what I'm saying, getting the mood and shit really being. I access more information when I read that shit out loud to myself. It really does. It's like therapeutic for me to do that shit. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck who around, but I try to do it. I try to record my like an audio recording of myself reading these words. Like this is some Don Juan shit. Like this is some random ass thing that just mentioned. There is no need for us to say anything about others. There is no need for you or me to regard others' actions in our us, one way or another. The worst thing we can do is to force people to agree with us. I mean, that we shouldn't try to impose our will when people don't believe the way we want them to. The worst thing one can do is confront human beings blunt. A warrior proceeds to cheat. If one wants to stop our fellow man, one must always be outside the circle that presses them. That way, one can always direct the pressure. Yeah, this, like I said, I will get, like I said, the frequencies I'm listening to. And then when I start reading these words, reading these quotes, it's me reading them to myself. It's really me imbuing myself with the wisdom that's in these quotes. And when I'm on the theta wave, I'm listening to auto suggestions. I believe, I'm like, yeah, this is okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm changing. I use it to really speed up everything that I'm doing, but to really to have access to more and more power through the power of the spoken word, by reading. Like, I love to read. I'm not really gonna, I can't really express it further. I absolutely love to fucking read. Because when I read, I'm learning, but when I'm reading, I'm casting spells on myself. But I internalize and weaponize all forms of information. So when I'm reading some shit from Don Juan, Carlos Constantino from the Active Side of Infinity, I believe that's what this is. The journey to excellence. I'm imbuing myself with the wisdom that's coming from the shamanistic, that's the whole side of things. So this is like the whole Central Mexico shamanistic type of thing. And I must say that too, because within the last 2 weeks, I haven't really brought this up. There's been a lot of Aztec guys come through. No, they in me. I haven't spoke their names into existence. I haven't made any memes on them. I haven't done any extensive research on these entities that I'm a part of. I haven't done anything yet, but they're there for me to utilize, weaponize. It's up to me to really, I'm gonna go in that route, but I ain't gonna express my own, or express what I am from that vantage point, from the Aztec guys. It's about 4 or 5 of them. I can't even pronounce their fucking name. But they made themselves known to me. Due to the focus, attention I placed on sorcery. It's placed on shamanism. It's placed on certain portions of the planet, like that motherfucker plays a collar. But when I'm focused on, when I'm focused on more of the shamanistic shit, when I'm tapping into like I got some Caribbean shit up in me. I got some Panamanian shit in me. That's why our whole connection with me being a crystal network has a lot to do with that. But there's more to it. It's other types of. So when I'm really like communicating with my DNA and shit, I'm unlocking shit. Some of the shit I don't even know what name. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I see the visualizations of these deities, these gods. I'm able to really kind of like pinpoint what time it is. Motherfuckers get like that. Like 9, 10, this is before the colonial laws. Oh, fuck, Aztecs. I see the little shit on their skin and shit, the little artwork, the little paints. Oh, fuck, okay. Then them niggas come through. And they just, it's like a part of your body, and they just latch on. But they ain't all coming through the heart. They all filtering all these motherfuckers through the heart. Understand something? All these motherfuckers getting on some positive shit. Some of these motherfuckers are diabolical. Some of them, you know what I'm saying? But I'm filtering all their powers, all their abilities through my heart. So, you know what I'm saying? But I represent the middle pillar. I'm pure heart, so I represent Christ. That's what I got. That's what I'm doing. But I'm telling you, I got access to them. I'm going to be expressing momentarily. It's coming through low. Really? Motherfucker. What about right now? Can you hear me now? Let me know if you hear me clearly. Just let me know. Okay. Naked out was all me. That wasn't me. Like I said, I am. But I was wanting to read this other shit real quick. Like, these are just some quotes from Don Juan that I take and I take to heart every motherfucking thing he said. Weaponize and internalize any form of information. Fright never injures anyone. What injury is ancient. It has a lot to do with genetics. It has a lot to do with blood. It has a lot to do with I don't know, the level of attention that you must have placed on this path and really like to add up to some of the but I've always learned I was different. I was doing something. I was doing something. And it had a lot to do with what I read to my sources and shit like that. So one must have the desire to drop them within, one must receive the money to chop them off little by little. We have no personal history, no information that even nobody is angry or displeased with that. Above all, no one hands it down to their thoughts. It's best to erase all personal history because that makes us free from incoming thoughts of other people. I have little. Oh, fuck. See, they are fucking with my shit. So it's a buzz playing through this shit. It's really gonna piss me off. That really made me fucking like, so it's a buzz playing right now with this shit. Like a little frequency buzz. Nah, that's one of the things I do. Nah, I don't know. I gotta check my phone out. It may be my phone. But I noticed that on my Instagram page where I had selling me on anytime I said a certain word or a certain like every couple seconds. There was a lot of that on and I'm like, you know, every sentence and I talk about it. Yeah, come in, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is going on? Bad sign. Alright. Okay. Give me an example. I need you to know my nigga. Let me see. So I gotta talk loud. It's not as bad as long as I talk loud. I got you. Like that, I can real loud. I'm kidding. But alright, more bass in my voice. But yeah, like I said, speaking things into existence, speaking your power into existence from the heart, filtering all your attributes, all the best things about you, even all the worst things about you. If you expressing it through your heart, it's going to be filtered. Purity and spirit is going to come out. It's going to be defined. You know how to direct your name, which is the direction of your life, which is the speed of whatever it is you're trying to improve yourself. Nah, that's one thing I wanted to ask y'all. With all that's going on. Tales from Power, no, that was from Journey to Exxon. I hope I'm saying that name. That was a couple quotes. I printed those quotes from I believe the website is called prismagems.com. That has a lot of Carlos Castaneda and Don Juan's quotes. They just put them in a column all together. So like reading the book, you know, is way more context to a lot of the quotes that you're saying. But this specific website has the most profound quotes that they've got me collected just listening. And I just get a lot of it based off of that. It's so profound. When I read them, I'm like contacting these motherfuckers out here and shit, like doing psychedelic shit, just being in contact with them through my DNA. There's some shit I just was able to motherfucking do. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's going on? How? I didn't ask how I knew because I'm different. I just do shit. But I was still amazed that I was able to really just have this access to this reservoir of wisdom that exists in Central Mexico, that whole source of system. Like a lot of, I don't know too many other people really talking about that shit. There's a lot of energy, there's a lot of power, there's a lot of old nuggets of wisdom that comes to really explain what the fuck this is, explain everything wisdom. I love that wisdom. That's a that situation. That pantheon, as well as the whole Apollo foundation, all that whole spiritual system, the black magic spiritual system, and all the information that is there for any source of any person that's really living this life to really go in those sections, to really draw the nuggets of wisdom. That's the, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this also that, like I said, if you don't have a woman in your life, fuck that. If you don't have a goddess in your life, that's really behind you and really just humble. You know what I mean? Now, am I speaking clear enough? Anytime you live in this life and you really, you need a goddess behind every man there's a greater woman behind God as a goddess. And the one that I have behind me that just reminds me every day of me being God, me being in the moment, me being in my bag, me talking my shit, me to really express myself the way I'm expressing myself. Just that extra motivation. There's nothing I can say, okay, you live in my life. There's nothing I can explain to you on how much that makes me, how inspiring that makes me feel. Basically, you know what I'm saying? It drives me absolutely almost insane with passion and so much just reverence and gratitude I have for the beauty that from a woman, from the great mother, so to speak. It's coming from pure spirit, it's coming from the rawest primordial seed of all of this zero. Now we are one. You don't need that power, and it can be like mere word, some simple word, but it hits different when she says it. It hits different when your woman tells you that you are God. You go about your daily life, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you're on your way to doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? You're on your way to going to the battlefield. She's like, remember you're God. You know what I'm saying? You're like, hell yeah, I'm a motherfucker, but I'm about to slaughter you. You know what I'm saying? That makes some added motivation and shit, that type of shit. It's just so, if you have it in your life, man, you know what I'm saying? Hold on to that shit. Appreciate it. Nah, take that shit. Do not take it for granted. You can't take it for granted. You gotta hold on to that shit. It's like a plant, a flower that you gotta nurture every day and show reference to that power. That shit, as far as a man, as far as being masculine, it's the background something. Like I said, it can be more fun. But I know they ramped up the now I can put shrooms back, I can put different elements to really help with electromagnetic frequency connection shit. I feel. But I know that they've ramped up certain gang stalking tactics. Now, like I said, they can't penetrate me as far as thought form trying to interfere with my brainwave. If they're like negative script, I know my thoughts. I can differentiate between thoughts I create and the true response. Like my thoughts and your thoughts, I know the difference. It's frequency. But and I know their the script or the negative thought form that's pervasive to all humanity. They use to the gang stalking. There's an algorithm that's and it's not necessarily people. It's not understand something. They do have like trained, like super soldier type of thing that's trained in like science. It's trained in like this shit on. They ain't fucking with me, but they're trained in it. They've been doing it for a long time. See it. They've been movies like Push. See it. There's been a lot of different movies where they have these like they get them as kids and they train them all kind of psionic abilities to be able to do certain things. And what I'm all saying is they're trained like that to handle motherfuckers or to try to confront people like you. If you have these abilities, you know what I'm saying? That was the pieces you be able to, you know what I'm saying? To stabilize your life and be able to, you know what I'm saying? Take the sun and turn it into a cytotron device and speed up a person's genetics, speed up the frequency of a person's genetics, making a motherfucking brain have an aneurysm, making them have spontaneous combustion, manipulation of the spinal cord, and the fucking frequency of the spinal cord, fucking vertebrae, knowing that type of shit. there's people that's kind of like set in place to really try to neutralize a motherfucker like you. And they've been doing this for a long time. This is a lot of the different mind control MK Ultra program. They find a lot of things. You really gotta like search the information to see what you get out of it. And I know that tactic, that, like I said, I got targeted like 6 years old. But they can't use that thing. So they gotta use something else. So a lot of times they gotta pay attention to it. Like everybody that I don't even know this. Everybody in the social life that I know and I interact with, I know them better than bird time. But they motherfucking city, latitude, longitude, the city they every fucking thing, bro. Every fucking thing. It's more shit I feel as far as old native terms, still, different things like that. But I know everything about it. So I know when they're being targeted to like try to. You can't hear me either, motherfucker. God damn it. So wait a minute. None of y'all motherfuckers can hear me right now? Nobody. I'm about to stop. I'm about to watch that. I need to know, motherfucker, right now. Now I know it's Booyah. Nigga, you can't hear me, shut up. That little bit. Turn your volume up, nigga. Who else can't fucking hear me, y'all? See? That's another way they can do this shit. See how I just got my frequency on this shit? That ain't my motherfucking phone. Listen to what I'm saying. Do your thing, my nigga, but nah, I'm about to fucking get up. This is the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, I thought I was ready for this shit. Still bad with the headphones. Okay, I'm good. Nah, at least I know. Like I said, I'm about to just say this. I'm gonna upload this motherfucker. I don't give a fuck about doing this shit. The whole purpose of this shit is really, talking my shit, just to let you know that the dedication that it's gonna take. Yeah, it's the frequency, of course. You know what it is. But the dedication that it takes for you to really imbue yourself with power. I'm gonna show y'all this shit again. I'm gonna show y'all some of it. If I can't speak, y'all can see. You need a document handy. Again, all time. Again, this would be like the magic window, mirror. Y'all see them sigils, y'all see them numbers and shit. Those geometrical codes, those frequencies. That's what they are. It's a mirror reflection of me. I'm looking at myself in this shit. That's an endless feedback loop of a holographic reality. I'm just looking at myself in a fucking mirror the whole time forever. This is me. Master of the motherfucking universe. Me sitting on top of copper, sitting on top of electromagnetic spectrum. Physics, copper. Universe A, universe B, whatever you want to call that shit. Sitting on top. My constellation, sitting on top like the observer of the universe. Alright? The answer to the universe. This would be V as 5 going to any reality that I want to go in. Just eliminating anything, any threats. She's an assassin. That's what I represent. But also, knowing I'm Professor X, tapping into anybody's heart. You understand what I'm saying? Knowing I'm deaf. You know what I'm saying? This would be like representation of everybody's picture. Did y'all hear that? Big ass. Now look. This is your human body. This is everybody. You hear me? Okay, now look. Now, when I want to like target some shit on myself or anybody, that's why I say don't. I treat others the way I can act. I'll be anybody. Don't fuck. Sorry. But this shit right. Don't want to target something like, and I do all kind of rituals with myself, like what I don't have listed is time, feet, instruction, spine. And I'm able to play people, you know what I'm saying? Play like people's spinal cord, like a chord and some shit, really get people to do certain things, and all kind of different things that I've done in the past. That damn live can't do it. Face up. But yeah, I think you can take the shit. You can all kind of fuck with these other people. But I don't have to do that no more. You know why I don't have to do that no more? Nah, I don't have to do anything. Now, all these different things I used to do in the past to manipulate people, to influence people's mind control, I don't have to do none of this shit. Once I really just allow myself to be what I am as God now for me to really download that frequency and view it in my heart. I don't have to do anything. Everything is going according to my plan. The script, the entirety of the simulation, the entirety of your motherfucking life, the decision that you make is my script. Everything I'm saying and speaking into existence, the code I wrote before I created space time. So now I do this. First time in my life I can relax. I have to meddle with things. I have to tinker with things and try to get it to my benefit. Every fucking thing that happens is to my benefit. Every fucking thing. So now this is me talking where now 63 frequencies coming to my explain to you the level of connection, of connectedness I have with absolutely every fucking thing. Like everything you see on this motherfucker, like every person, thing, every particle, every subatomic particle, every germ, every fucking thing I'm looking at. It's like a double, it's like you just connected to it. You get it. It's like, whoa. So like, hold on, let's say what do you do on Monsters Inc? Go in people's dreams. That was one of the easier ways. Like just going in people's dreams, or using that as the avenue to really tap into people's dreams. That was before I knew that. That's before I really started using like frequencies and shit like that. More so, I could go into any person's dream and say, hey, you can be in your house, right? You got kids. Let's give y'all an example. Say if you're in a house, you don't have no kids, but I wanted to go inside that dream. Now you got all this spirits and shit, all protection, and I want to go in your motherfucking dream. I want to enter your dream. This is what I was doing before. Now it's easy. Now I have to do something different. Like say I want to get in your dream, but you don't have no kids, so you don't have nothing really in your house to really symbolize. A child like myself, something that's connected to the monster. So I don't have nothing there to work with. I don't have no sympathetic magic to tap into. So you have a connection to bridge, but you're able to. You're able to. Like 3, 4 kids. Some of them motherfuckers that's Disney shit. Pixar shit. Monster Inc. That's a bridge. That's a bridge frequency there. Oh, I can find that's a bridge. You gave us, but it's not into the house. Next door to me. How the fuck would I get into that motherfucker? How do I get this? Well, nigga, ass brothers, my dad shit. It's not like I gotta fuck. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna possess any motherfucking object in that child house, or whatever fucking Pixar shit, whatever it is that you connected to. That shit, I'm gonna use that shit. I need this motherfucking seed connection. So it can be random ass kids walking outside, you know what I'm saying? Go out to his car, get ready for school or something. Snotty nose, dragging toys. He might just leave a toy on the ground in the front yard. The person that I'm targeting might wake up in the morning, go check his mail, go look over, glance over, and see some shit in the yard that I possess with this motherfucker. See, once he see it, that motherfucker that was so ass. That was some damn shit. That is some low levels. I don't have to do that. I was like, yeah, man, I'm like, I am that motherfucker. I am information. I am conscious. So all I gotta do is just be that motherfucker, just be connected to that person, and just fucking just be there, observing the dreams that you need to that person has that person. I ain't gotta go through all the steps, sessions, there's other ways to get cat. But what the fuck am I about to say? That's just one way. It's just like I said, I'm very, very fucking gay. I hold my hat on that shit. Again, see like this book. Like Death Note book. Motherfucker's name. I got everybody's name. Your name consists of 26 letters, correct? This ain't the Death Note book, but this is a book I wrote and there's like certain thoughts of mine. This is February 15, 2009. I usually just write them, these little words, quotes and shit that I have throughout the day. I may be walking, and you may just see me sit on the bench, and I may put all a notebook, and I may just start writing. Start writing. Yep. Go about my day, walking and shit, talking to it. When I get some inspiration, stop wherever the fuck I'm at, and start writing down. So this is like, on awakening the Christ within the eyes of others. Now listen, I was on this shit February 15, 2009. I ain't not been here that long. Just lying dormant in exile, really just going through the necessary steps for me to be able to build all the information up for me to be able to talk to you right now. You know what I'm saying? Flesh for the first time. To them, you who may well have experienced a first-hand encounter with the divinity within are the blasphemy. From their perspective, it is you may fleetingly have tasted the transcendence of linear identity that is rooted in ego. For having such thought. To them, you are the one who doesn't belong in this world. A world that cannot see, could not begin to imagine. Yet, you see, you have begun to truly see it perhaps for the first time. Your mental focus creates your reality. Like I said, focus. Little tidbits of information that I can stop and I just let them down. You understand what I'm saying? Approaching the effort with the assumption that the highest possible result is automatically formed. Sets the stage for your efforts wherever it is. One creates with ease what is approached with energy absorbed. You are everything is created energetically by you. Like I said, I got a whole goddamn book of quotes I can go on. Man, I used to speak these shits to myself now. What I haven't done, I haven't audio recorded myself speaking that. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put that shit to some later way. Put that shit to some targeted frequencies with my frontal lobe to come up with creative ways to live out and express the quotes and shit. I'm gonna do that probably tonight. That's what the fuck I'm gonna do. See what I'm saying? Coming up with shit when I kind of have intention to like earlier. But that's just coming up with ways in the moment to really, you know what I'm saying, speed up the process of you doing everything that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just another, like I said, another way for you to be creative, for you to have, you know, to expand your fucking imagination, for you to really, you know, to get the ball rolling on you being a god or a goddess, so to speak. So I will say that. So I'm about to get the fuck out of here. I'm talking. Man, I'm sorry for the audio shit. I don't know what the fuck going on. I'm probably gonna go off my fucking. Oh, okay. No. I got you. It says church. Preach, man, preach. creates with ease what is approached with the energy of joy, purity of spirit, and strength of heart. Some shit. Something. Yeah, right? Everything is created energetically by you. You the creator. Understand that? You doing this shit. It's coming through you. So if you see me creating this shit around you, understand it's coming through you. You the motherfucker that they're collapsing into existence and being the center representation of the entire power. So like, that's what I'm saying. It's a lyrical. It's all holographic. You understand what I'm saying? So, other quote. Your obligation on this journey is ultimately to the recognition and implementation of your own true choices and the loving intent with which you infuse all choices establishes the basis for the gratification of your heart's desire. What the fuck was I on February 16, 2009? See, I always knew I was like, I never not known. I knew I was conscious. It wasn't just none of it. It had everything to do with my heart, had everything to do with my inner spirit, my perception, how I saw things. It's like I always knew, like, alright, I'm here different. Why the fuck am I? Why they paint me like? Why I got blue eyes? Why am I on? Why they got me in fucking back, like torturing me and shit? Like I'm just some wicked fuck up. These people worship me. Why the fuck are they worshiping me? What happened? That type of shit. You think, what the fuck is going on? Then I start learning about religion, Christianity, and shit like that. That's where they flip my shit. That's where they turn my narrative of my motherfucking story to the benefit of the elite, to the benefit of the power, the ones in power, the cowards, the minds, to fear, and to really gain, financial, economic power over them. And I knew that. When I was a kid, I knew that. I'm like, okay. But I know my prophecy. I know my fate. I know my destiny. Of what is viewed with my rival. Like, I knew that. I never worried about it. I didn't ever like, you need to do something. I was more like, okay. I'm like 5, 6 years old. I'm still like, okay, well, I'm able to warp, change human perceptions. I'm able to. At the time, I wasn't communicating spirits. I'm able to. Basically, my main motherfucking power I have as a kid, the one I noticed right away, very, very early on, was that I was able to shape and mold people's perceptions, or manipulate them, or get them to see whatever the fuck I wanted them to see, or get them to see me in the way I wanted them to see me, to get whatever I wanted to get out of them. Like, I'm exceptionally lucky. I wake up out of it, I'm just lucky. I always see things like I do shit on by her, and I'm what do you think about the shadow self, possession? Yeah, that's dealing with like some darker matter type of shit. Like, yeah, that's the left hand side. That's what I'm talking about really. You know what I'm saying? Knowing the darker aspect. You gotta have a darker side and have an anti-God side. You understand what I'm saying? A darker anti-matter side, an anti-God side. I have to go in and I have to go through the shadow work necessary to weaponize that aspect of myself. To take that energy, take that all that raw ass power, that sorcery, that witchcraft shit, and filter it through my heart. So now it's just not, like, now it's raw power. Understand something with the lifestyle of Christ, the healing, some benevolent thing. But what's being benevolent? Benevolent thinking, not malevolent. You don't know what malevolent is. So I'm both. I'm taking both those forces, filtering those powers through my heart, and now turning into raw force, raw power. I'm able to utilize those aspects of myself as a light and dark aspect of myself. So I always knew it. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy. But I knew it. Can't just tell you my experience. And it has something to do with my bloodline. It has something to do with my natal chart. It has a lot to do with that. But I've always known this. I've always known. You know what I'm saying? I was a kid, 5, 6 years old. I'm able to just go into my dream. Why do I know that my dreams are like my playground? You know, I difference between my dreams and my. Matter of fact, nobody told me ever that this was fucking reality. I never was told this. I always took this shit as I thought it was my dream. That's what I told myself it was a dream. Then later on, I realized it's not a dream. It's not a reality. It's my fucking experience. Oh shit, that changed the game. It's an experience, not a differentiate between reality and dream. It's an experience. You can't deny that. Like, that just opened up even more fucking reservoir. It's like that was like the last couple years. But really, I always looked at it as a dream. Like as a shit, as a kid. So I'm like, shit, I'm doing shit in my dream. And then I wake up and I'm still dreaming. I'm still doing the same shit. A little slower. Now I gotta deal with this time, space, meaning, perspective, making things manifest. There's still other ways for me to get shit. I'm 6 years old, man. Why the fuck am I? What the fuck 6-year-old nigga grew up doing some shit? Why was I doing this? This is all internal shit I'm in my head. Never was in awe about none of this shit I'm doing. Not one time. Like this, I felt like I was kind of like I told y'all earlier. Kind of like how. No, I appreciate that, man. It reminds me of like Loki when he dies and he just he goes into a younger version. So he still got the wisdom of being like 90 million years old or some shit. But he's still a kid. So that's what the fuck. It was some similar shit with me. I always was just like I never was in awe. Like I knew I was God. I knew I was like Christ. I didn't know. There's no book to explain none of this shit. Nobody telling me nothing. I thought all along. I thought it was just like, okay, what am I fucking supposed to do with all this shit? I know I got a prophecy. I got to fulfill. And it ain't in church. It's some different type of some. I just want to be normal. I just want to fucking go about my life every day. I just want to be a kid. Why can't I fucking just be a kid? So I'm like, I'm 6 years old, and I told you about what happened. Then after that, that's when I started promoting fucking music. I didn't fucking know what the fuck that shit was. I was 6. This happened in 1988, 88 to 92 is when I started really promoting music like that. That's also when I started being targeted, gang stuff. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you this shit again. Can y'all hear me? I feel like I gotta explain this. Nigga, let me know if y'all hear me. Nah. I ain't know I can start talking about this shit. I'm about to come in. What time is it? Okay, we good. When I was 6, having a dream in the fucking Looney Tunes, I'm fucking with frequencies. I don't got that shit on. I'm telling my shit. Let me see if I can do something. Right, yeah, I don't have my frequency generator. My shit not on. I wasn't doing I didn't do nothing, no neuroplasticity shit last night. I went straight. I just, you know what I'm saying, went to bed, just into the void. I ain't do nothing. So maybe yours may be turned up. I don't know. But when I was 6 years old, man, I woke up. I had a dream, Looney Tunes dream. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was Looney Tunes more so on some Bugs Bunny shit. It was one of my favorite characters. And I'm just in the cartoon world, fucking with these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's what's up. And all of a sudden, I was just ripped, transported into another realm. Whoop. I'm like, okay. It's like I'm looking at this, like my vision, looking at my garage. I'm just looking at the wall from this perspective. I'm like, I'm in this laboratory. Y'all hear me? You good? It seems like it's lag and it's okay. I think we all right. I'm in this laboratory. Now I'm looking around. I see 4 walls. Like, imagine like a doctor's office, but no, like there's like a desk, a chair, and still it's like the smell of like a doctor's office or a laboratory. The smell of a laboratory more so. No music, no sound. I'm just in this room and I see a door. And I'm not in the body. I'm like, okay. All right. I'm just here, but I'm not in the body. Okay. There's that. I didn't do where the fuck am I at? So I'm looking at this door. I'm like, Walked through the door. As soon as I said that, before I even finished the thought, I was already through the motherfucking door. I'm like, oh shit. And I knew, okay, this place is responding to my thoughts instantaneously. I have similar experiences with dealing with Looney Tunes and just a cartoon world I'm in, of me being able to speak things instantaneously into existence, and for me to just let my imagination run wild in the cartoon world. Why wouldn't I be able to do it here? But before I got to the other thought, I'm still trying to figure out where the fuck I was. Like, I'm like, where the fuck is this at? This is there's no people. Mind you, I told you about this before. My perception, I didn't pick up no people, no brainwaves. Keep that in mind. I'm in this place, and I'm going through all these different aisles. Ain't nothing but supercomputers there. Giant supercomputers. That D-Wave shit in '88. This is, understand something about time and space. I could have experienced that shit while my experience was in '88. But I could have been experiencing that shit from the vantage point of a kid in 2020 or some shit. It don't, time and space is not what the fuck you've been lied to about a lot of shit. It ain't nothing like that. Perception of time, warp, it all depends on one's really how you just navigate this shit. You just gotta know what the fuck you're doing. But time and space is really a construct, so to speak. Something for you to really play with as a sorcerer, as a god or goddess. But I'm here. And this '88 from my perspective, and I'm in the fucking place, this big ass warehouse, laboratory, or whatnot, of supercomputers. And the closer I get to them, I'm hearing all them noises, and that AOL backup shit, that shit, that old shit from the '90s. And then it just started. I'm hearing that noise. But I'm like, fine, I don't wanna. But mind you, nobody. I'm just like, I'm not even floating through this shit like my spirit. It's not like that. It's more like a. What is it? What the fuck I can explain this shit? I'm not floating. It's not like a ghost. It's not like the shit you've seen in the movies. It's similar, but as I'm moving through this thing. I'm moving through this place, but I'm not moving it like how a spirit moves. It's more like, I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't even know what it is. But I'm able to move, and I ain't moving in no. I don't think it's a spirit. It's not like the spirit. It's different. I don't know what the fuck it is. But I'm just there. I'm thinking of this computer, and I'm there. I'm like, how the fuck? It's like moving at the speed of like thought or some shit. But I'm in front of this one specific supercomputer, and I'm noticing it like it's like all I see is zeros and ones on the screen. And as I'm thinking about trying to interpret what the fuck I was looking at, I'm noticing speed up, and then it started making weird noises, almost on some. See, me being a kid, me using my imagination. And I remember the noises it was making on some R2D2 shit. You know them little robots from Star Wars, when they make noise, when they get nervous or something, like they nervous or something. And I equated the noise that this goddamn supercomputer was making, which alerted me that it was monitoring me, and it was aware that I was aware of what the fuck they was doing. And that's when I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, it's sentient, it's aware. But it's a computer. But it's sentient. It's aware, but it's a computer, and this motherfucker, this binary code, and I just automatically started reading the fucking binary code. They were fucking monitoring my brainwave, and I'm like, aha! And that's when the motherfucker started doing all these different noises, and it wasn't moving and shit. But I equated that noise with the frequency of noise that a robot or a cyborg will make when it's nervous or some shit. Like, oh shit, Darth Vader is coming! Like, oh, let's get out of here! That type of shit. It was nervous. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck happened after that? I think I just woke the fuck up. No, I told the story before. I woke up in bed, like, back home, back in East Hickory Hollow, Wayne, Michigan, 1988. You know what I'm saying? It happened right after I had my abduction experiment, whatever the fuck that was. When I was augmented, I was chained, I was altered. And it wasn't no negative experience. It was something that happened to me that sped up everything that I'm doing. And that's all I can tell you. But after that, that's when the gang stalking happened. So now I understood I can go back to this place. And I started going back. And now I was able to pick up on people there. Like, I was able to do what the sentient computer was doing to other humans. Now that sentient computer was picking up on my brainwaves, I weaponize and internalize that power. Now I can do that. Now I can pick up on people's brainwaves. Hence the reason why I was able to go to that location and pick up on the humans that was there because of the brainwave. Now it's way more energy that I have available, I have access to, way more information, way more, basically energy for me to work through. And what I'm telling you is, I mean this shit when I'm going to tell you this blunt as possible. This is underground, and it's all world governments working together to monitor the brainwave of every human being on the planet. Korean, North Korean, Russian, German, American, Canadian, every fucking body's involved in this. And they're using supercomputers to do it. And they're underground, they put it right in front of your motherfucking face. At whatever season that was, the last Stranger Things, and that shit was underneath the mall, and had them Russian motherfuckers moving in and all the, export, import shit, all that shit, that's real. That Montauk shit. Them Duffer brothers getting that shit from I know. The Montauk experiment that was going on in the 60s, and the experimentation on children, 11, like me, motherfuckers like that. Right in front of your face, right up under your nose. Right up under your motherfucking nose. That's my coffee. That's what was going on. And that's when I realized, I'm like, what the fuck? So that's when I started getting, I know, but it's about you, is what I'm saying. Because if it's about me, it's about you. I ain't nothing but a mirror motherfucking reflection. You understand that, my nigga? But I appreciate you saying that. But, so I'm like, okay, now these motherfuckers are sending, now I'm, like I said, I've always aware I'm 6 years old. This is in from 88 to 92. This is the first year, I can tell you damn near every goddamn thing that happened in sport. That was the year the Lakers won the fucking NBA championship over the Pistons. The Pistons won in 89 when fucking James Worthy and Magic Johnson had a hamstring and ankle problem. We swept them in the play. We swept them in the finals. 1990, you know what I'm saying? We already know the fucking Pistons beat the Portland Trailblazers and shit like that. So I always equated sports, dates, and the different things that I was going through as far as like my journey and shit. I've always kept them shits here. But now I was able to pick up on their negative thought forms as far as the thoughts that was coming to my brain. I'm like, they ain't my thoughts. Why the fuck is it telling me to kill this motherfucker or to use my power to make this motherfucker have a car accident? Or to curse this person. Whose thoughts are these? So I let them play. I let them run out. I just let them. I'm like, it's like, okay, imagine me. I'm sitting here. But within myself, I'm presented with these thoughts. And then I just take a step back and just allow these thoughts, this script to play out. And I'm just seeing them. I'm just reading like, somebody's interfering with my normal everyday thoughts. They're not coming from me. Where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? So I never knew at the time. I never knew what the fuck gang stalking was or targeting individual. I never knew what it was. I'm 6 fucking years old. I can't talk or speak to nobody about this shit. And I never even thought about telling nobody this shit. I always knew who the fuck am I gonna tell this asshole for? This human. You ain't gonna know. You know what I'm saying? Gonna throw me in the goddamn special school somewhere where, and they gonna be to give me a goddamn lobotomy or something. No, I'm gonna keep this shit to myself. So I'm trying to figure this shit out. Still going to fucking first grade and shit. Like recess, beating the shit out of kids and shit. Being a bully and shit. Just because I'm frustrated. Like, man, this shit is, I want to go home. Like, man, who ass I need to kick up in here today so I can just go home and I can just be in my room trying to figure this shit out. I got other shit I need to be doing. Fucking having recess every fucking 15, 20 goddamn minutes. We're gonna do a goddamn A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3 fucking history music channel, music fucking class and shit. Playing a goddamn recorder and shit. What the fuck am I doing? Let me punch you in your fucking face so I can get sent home. So I can go home, be in my room, being punched. Go to your room. That's exactly where the fuck I need to go. So I go figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, that's what the fuck I was doing. Now you know. But I'm still trying to figure out where it was coming from. Because it wasn't like, there wasn't brainwave. These thoughts weren't coming from a human. They were coming from a fucking computer, an algorithm. I didn't know what the fuck an algorithm was. I knew it was coming from, I knew they wasn't coming from a human because I would have been able to fucking backtrack the brainwave emissions that they were sending me based on the thoughts. I just knew how to do it. Now I'm like, that's not humans. It's doing this a fucking computer. But where is it? So I'm like, This is in '88. Ain't no fucking computer really. Then you start saying people start talking about computers and things. They became more readily available and shit. But I didn't know where they was coming from. No, you see in the movie, you see that fucking van, that white van be parked like 4 or 5 houses down in the same street with all the motherfuckers in there using like surveillance and shit, like monitoring shit. I knew it wasn't no shit like that. I'm like, that's some Hollywood shit. It ain't gonna be like that. It's underground. Where underground? I don't know. I didn't at the time. I didn't know where the fuck these places. This place. I knew it was underground, and I knew that shit was protected by like. That's what I figured out. I knew it was protected by like mountains, and that's where it made me realize it was in Utah. The Utah data center. Look that shit up. Look up the Utah supercomputer data system. You see shit. I forget the name of it. Beehive, I think it's called. Cause I sent them motherfucker the earthquake last year. 6.3 magnitude. Something like that. That's when I realized where the fuck it was, what they was doing. And where where I went when I was remote viewing and shit. Now, I don't know why I went there. I know I wasn't pulled. I felt as if I was pulled there. I felt that I was extracted there. But come to find out, I went there. I don't know. I'm being, me right now in front of you talking, I'm being controlled outside of space and time by myself. So, and I was needed to go there for a fucking specific reason. Like, I was ripped from my Looney Tunes dream directly into this goddamn underground laboratory where these supercomputers were to do whatever the fuck I needed to do at that moment. And I was never in awe of it. I just knew. I'm like, okay. Don't panic. Why the fuck would you panic? You never panic. What the fuck is panic? What the fuck is worry? What the fuck is fear? You're in control. You always been in control. Assess the situation. I'm in the room. I'm not the body. Okay? Meaning that I'm in this room. This room and this realm must respond to my thoughts instantaneously. So I see a door. I see a wall. Go through the wall. Oh, it's already through the wall. I'm like, okay. That works. I've had similar experiences of using my imagination to run wild, but I don't want to use that here. I want to figure out where the fuck I am, what the fuck is going on, and why the fuck am I here. So I went about it like that. That's how I was processing that shit at 6 years old. So like other experiences, like I just knew. I'm like, this script, these thought forms. This is what the fuck is this shit? I'm 6 years old, 6, 7 years old. Why the fuck am I? Somebody telling me to beat the shit out of this. It wasn't like normal shit that you would get like tell a little kid like go punch him in his face. Nah, I was doing that anyway. I was a fucking bully because I wanted to go home. I was frustrated because I wanted to really just do and talk this shit all the fucking time and try to figure out what was going on and then just be but also simultaneously wanting to be a kid too. I'll explain it. I was frustrated with that shit. I couldn't just be a goddamn kid. That's another thing I gotta really vent real quick. I never could be a kid. I never could just be. Like, I never could just be innocent and just not know. I was always aware of this shit. This always shit was always over my head. Like a cloak of just, you really can't just, I could never just enjoy none of this shit. This is the reason I'm doing this shit like this. Like little kid shit. Like I never could fully be just a kid. I was always this motherfucker right here talking in a goddamn kid body, basically. Never being able to experience the joys and just, yeah, I did. I bit the shit out that food. I devoured the core every goddamn thing. But that's the whole reason I never was able to really enjoy it. Let me see what's happening. So this is like therapeutic for me to talk about. But I never like was able to be a kid. So I was like, fuck, man. Damn. But back on the thought form, back on the harassment, back on the psychotronic harassment. It's not my thoughts, but where are they coming from? I didn't know But I knew it was a supercomputer, but I didn't know where it was coming from until later. Until a couple years ago, I realized this underground shit. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be weird shit I be doing. Like I noticed that for me in my journey, that when I find out about shit, and nothing is random with me. So when stranger things happen, I'm like, mind you, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm coming out of meditation and shit. And I see on Netflix, I'm like stranger thing. Oh, what the fuck is that shit? I'm like, and I saw, see me, I'm very, very subtle when I pay attention to shit. I pay attention to fonts, right? I have a thing for fonts and I have a thing for scores. And when it comes to Stephen King, I read all, what kid, had access to his books and reading them 1,000-page goddamn books? I'm talking about like It. I'm talking about like Salem's Lot. I'm talking about like Misery. I'm talking about Christine. I'm talking about Tommy Knockers. As a fucking kid, them big thick ass goddamn books that knock your goddamn head off and get hit by one of them motherfuckers. As a kid, weaponized and internalized. But when I saw that Stranger Things shit, I'm like, I'm half asleep. It's like 2 in the morning. I'm like, this is the premiere day that came out. I'm like, oh, fuck it, let me turn this on. I clicked it on. And I'm like half asleep. And I'm playing the first 5 minutes of this shit, and then I noticed something. I'm like, that's oddly familiar. This is the first 5 minutes when that motherfucker got killed on the fucking elevator. Boom! I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I went and made a pot of coffee. I made a whole pot. And I watched that shit the whole night. I'm watching that shit like, these motherfuckers, that's my talk experiment. I already knew what it was. I didn't even equate myself with it necessarily. I knew that, well, the experimentation, the suppression of certain senses, to open up the gateway and shit. I knew Doth, I knew with 11, I knew all that shit. I knew my daughter was 11. I knew my numbers is 11. I knew the whole symbolism behind that, the clip off the tree. Like I already knew that, but I'm like, they're putting this shit right in front of people's faces, and this shit's gonna be a sensation because it's the truth. Don't nobody know it. Like, us people here that have experience in going through that shit, walking around you, look just like you have no goddamn idea. Another thing that I want to bring up too is that what I'm realizing too is that they fuck with my memories. There's certain things of my memory that I know wasn't my memory. I didn't experience them. They're not real. Anybody got any experience really going within their memory bank, within the portion of their brain to back to when they was a kid and really like relive those experiences? Anybody do that? Am I the only one? So like, I was able to realize, now I don't know, like I have extensive like experience in dealing with it, but I know that certain memories of mine wasn't mine. It was like some shit they overlaid over it. And what I honestly don't know today, I can't honestly tell you. I'm really gonna go in on this shit further. This is some personal shit, but I wanted to tell you because I wanted to really contact anybody else who's really going about doing this. I honestly feel I don't necessarily need to do it, but this is something I'm curious about. Is that I could have been, when I go to sleep at night, I know that they can like hijack your consciousness and take it and do experimentations on it. I could have been one of them goddamn kids that they were doing experimentations on and been like augmented and fucked with and been like changed. That could have happened to me. And I could have had them memories overlaid with going to fucking Toys R Us with my grandma. Like it'd be some shit like that, right? I had an experience of going to Toys R Us with my grandma, and she always get me what I want, no matter what the fuck it was, no matter what it was, I got what I wanted out of my grandma. And like say I had an experience, I remember going to Toys R Us and my grandma being mean as fuck to me, like whooping me or something. I'm like, she never did that. Grandma never did that. Why I have this memory? My grandma would never fucking do that to me. This isn't. You slick motherfucker. You almost had me. But this is where y'all fucked up. This is not my memory. This is a holographic insert. A holographic insert for me to render a third dimensional reality, a hologram, which originally didn't come from my original, this is not my original thought, this is not my original experience. So how the fuck, so you don't have nothing to draw on but then the neuronal connections within my brain to draw this experience from. You got bits and pieces, but you overlaid it with with an incident that never would happen under normal conditions of my holographic reality, because I warped my reality. All my perception is laid out for everybody to do absolutely anything I want them to do, including my grandma just buying me shit. Even though I wasn't using that against her, I was just, you know what I'm saying, she loved her grandson, so to speak. But now y'all got this reality where she gave me a spanking and she talking down on me and shit. She would never do that, which lets me know that you fucked up. Yeah, holographic inserts. Google it, look it up. Because I have what is called an eidetic memory of like specific shit that I'm very interested in. I can tell you what the fuck I was wearing, what I was eating, what the fuck other people was doing, all the way back in my life, like old shit. Like I remember a lot of shit. Nah, there's certain things I'm cloudy on. Like I'm cloudy on a lot of shit, especially when I start talking about the shit like remote viewing of like before I was 6 years old. I don't know why. All of a sudden, the last couple months, this is my memories been getting like cloudy when it comes. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers don't want me going back to that. Now, what I'm telling you is, I don't know for a fact, but I could have been, you know what I'm saying, with human being with cloaks that were hovering over Earth throughout the day that were feeling the watching. Okay, that's interesting. We can talk about this type of shit, but I started experiencing certain type of like I didn't have access to my memories and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Man, I've been talking like over 90 goddamn minutes. I appreciate y'all being patient with your boy and shit. I really do. But yeah, anybody that's really having any experience and going within themselves, really searching out the deeper recesses of the memories, you gotta go in them, man. 'Cause I'm telling you, you may have been, if you like me, if you're a person that's born with certain psychic abilities, certain psionic abilities, and you just had that level of awareness of you just being, like you just knowing shit, like on this, are you getting what the fuck I'm saying? Like I was born woke. I never had to like do anything when it comes to I never really had to do anything to really just like be aware. I was always fucking aware. But as a child I was aware. So I didn't have like I couldn't just motherfucker, I knew Santa Claus was fake. I knew this was like a hologram. I knew this was like I knew this wasn't real like that. But I was going through it, you know what I'm saying, I just wanted to fucking just be a kid. I just wanted to be innocent. I'm looking at a kid on the playground just playing and shit, just not without caring a word, you know? And I'm like, I'm the same age as them. I'm just like, how do I blend in? What do I need to do? And that went through me being a bully. Me being one to follow my brother everywhere at home. He's 9 years older than me. Man, stay back. Man, I'm trying to be with them niggas. I'm like, nigga, I'm older than y'all niggas. What the fuck? Man, stay home with mama. So my little brother was born and shit, right? This is in 85, my little brother. Just turned 35 years old and shit. But honestly, this is what I hid myself in the absolute love and appreciation of sports, and basketball specifically. That's where I hid. I hid myself. God hid himself. Christ hid himself. Jesus hid himself. El Cristo Negro, El Cristo Satanic Negro, whatever the fuck you want to call me, hid his essence within basketball for a better part of my entire life, up to like 2004. That's where I went. That's where God was at. That's where he was focused on. Just trying to be normal, trying to blend in with everything, not trying to be aware of this shit that's going on. I just want to I need something to focus on so I can really fully appreciate this human experience. I want to try to be human. Let me just try to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I can appreciate it like I do now. All the trials and tribulations, all the shit I went through, all the practices, all the fucking AU games, and just, you know what I'm saying? Knowing I wasn't going to ever do that shit, knowing that I was just, you know, I'm just there to really try to learn what teamwork is, learn what working with others for a greater cause, the bigger goal. Having good communication, keeping myself in shape always, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to, if anybody that knows Shannon, really, when it comes to sports, man, I know like damn near everything about basketball, sports, strategy, X's and O's, play. I still remember playbooks from Madden 92 all the way to fucking 2011 when I stopped playing it, all the goddamn playbook and shit. What the fuck? What type of motherfucker know that shit? Like the whole goddamn playbook, offense, defense, engage 8-3-4 defense, cover 3, cover 4, and motherfucker know how to do the play action, motherfucking play to fucking make the safety draw down, the motherfucking throw up top on the fucking fade pass. Let me shut the fuck up. Y'all get back to this shit. But I hid. That's where I hid. Let me get the fuck up, man. Talking that shit, y'all don't know my fucking mind. But like I said, I'm gonna probably go on my Instagram live. I like to talk, man. I like to really talk this shit. So, look again. Now, mind you, I'm leaving this shit running. Now, I'm leaving this on my altar. This is me on my altar. Me imbuing myself with the power. Me as Zach. Me as Osiris. Me as Dr. Manhattan. Me all that stuff. The mirror. You understand what I'm saying? I'm imbuing myself all the time with this is what I was talking about. I'm the master of the universe. I'm sitting outside of space and time. Doing this is what I'm doing. So when y'all see me walking around, I'm outside of your space and time. So this is like my video game. This is my world. And that's why I don't get no smoke. That's why I get everything I want out of this shit. Why wouldn't I? I'm running this shit through symbolism. From the language that I communicate with symbolism through the subconscious mind. This is my subconscious mind. This world is my subconscious mind. You see what I'm saying? So this is an awesome fucking experience I'm having. Is what the fuck I'm saying. But again, like little shit like that, little Roblox shit, little Anubis shit. You know what I mean? Like little shit like that I just keep and I activate on that shit. Nah. I could have been talking to my motherfuckers all day. Y'all want to tell me shit. You got your stuff down there. So I'm like, oh, I wanted to show y'all something real quick. Told you, when motherfuckers die, they come to me. Spirits. This is Ronald Reagan. Reaganomics. All that shit he was on in the 80s and shit, all that alien shit, all that, trapping niggas, getting niggas locked up and shit, nigga, there's consequences for that. Heart is the key to the inner child. There we go. Put that shit on the t-shirt. I'm about to get out of here, man. I'm about to holler at y'all in a minute. I'm about to go to work and shit. If anybody interested in any other of my content, man, holler at me on my Instagram and shit, man. I'm probably about to be talking some shit on that, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all in a minute. Thank you for being patient with your boy. Thank you all for letting me know about my audio and all that shit going through the frips and shit. And I'm gonna be popping at y'all later, man. Kaiser Söze.